Welcome you back, my great and wonderful people. Happy New Year to you all. I pray this year bring joy, happiness, and upliftment to us. Back in the political zone, everywhere scattered at the early hours of today, as humanitarian minister in person of Dr. Betta Edu has refused to show up at the EFCC office today, based on some unknown reason. The internet has been boiling due to this shenanigans that this so-called humanitarian minister has been perpetrating. In the early hours of today, more atrocities committed by minister has been exposed that has actually surprised and get the social media boiling today, which has attracted a lot of reaction. Many are happy that this woman is being probed presently, but some are actually frowning at the process because it's coming from a President Bola Ahmed TINUBU. My people, stay close to your screen as I will be bringing you the full gist. My people, make sure you like this video, make sure you share this video, share it to every social media platform. If you cannot share, like it, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. We'll be right back shortly.
Welcome to
The whole of crime scene
is happening in the street again.
the center of political news, celebrity gossip, religious gossip, and happiness in the society.
Join us, the voice of Africa.
Welcome to Lajipok TV show, where we bring you political gist, celebrity, and religious gossip. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, please do where to click the red subscription button, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you anytime we drop another trending gist. A lot is actually happening in the political zone. It is now very obvious to Nigerians that the administration is nothing but a failed one. If a minister that hasn't spent up to a year in her office can be caught with these huge allegations with how she spends the public funds, let's now assume she wasn't caught. Do you know how much money would have been looted within or throughout her tenure if not caught? The only reason most people are frowning at this process, even though they are happy she was caught, is because the president of the country who has called for her probing is even more of a corrupt person in this administration. It's so funny that I said this in one of my previous videos. There is nobody in this administration that can actually challenge President Bola Ahmed TINUBU based on how he also spent the public funds. The corruption in his tenure is dragging the country backward. You borrow money from foreign countries instead of this president to make use of the money judiciously so as to bring forth dividends and also boost the economy of the country. But this so-called president choose to allocate the money to be spent on flight of cars for ministers and his wife. Is that not a daylight robbery? How is the money being borrowed? How will it boost the economy of the country if you are not using the money for the things that needs to be spent on? Now Betta Edu has also been caught sending a huge sum of money, $500 million into a private account, which is actually meant for the citizen of the country. Aside that, a shocking revelation was made again today that she sent another 72 million naira of flight ticket into a state that the airport is not meant for commercial flights. Why is it that people are hearing the looting of money laundering in this administration that has not even been up to a year? Now, in this kind of a situation, what brings forth issues like this is when the leader himself is even more of a corrupt person. What are you expecting from his administration? We can see Akpabio from his own administration. We can see Wike from this same administration. These are a set of people that are not even supposed to be seen leading a particular country, not just a country, but a country like Nigeria. Now, this minister Betta Edu has actually been caught doing all these things also. I believe very well that this woman cannot just stand up one morning or wake up one morning and decide to be doing all this all by herself. I believe that there's somebody fueling this energy in her to be doing all these things. When you call yourself a humanitarian minister, you're supposed to be one of those people that care for the people of this country, the first person that care for the affair of the people of this country, the citizens of the country. But you are now the person that actually embezzling, you are actually looting the money that is actually meant for the citizen of the country. Now, Rufai OSENI of Arise TV News actually said something in this video. I'll be showing you all the videos. Just stay close to your screen, where Rufai OSENI was saying that what is the essence of the humanitarian minister position in the country if not for our leaders to be using that position to be looting Nigerian funds? Because the former humanitarian minister was actually caught also doing some shenanigans, and now the present humanitarian minister again is actually caught looting Nigerian funds again. So if there is no other things that these people can actually be doing with Nigerian funds, there is no essence of having that position for anybody in Nigeria, that this position should be scrapped off if this is what the people that are occupying that space will be doing. My people, just stay close to your video as I will be playing you the videos. We'll be right back shortly.
Breaking news live from Abuja. Now President Bola TINUBU has suspended the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Dr. Betta Edu, from office with immediate effect. The president further directs the executive chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to conduct a thorough investigation into all aspects of the financial transactions that are involving the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, as well as one or more agencies thereunder. Suspended minister is directed to hand over to the permanent secretary of the Federal Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, and she is further directed by the president to fully cooperate with the investigating authorities as they conduct their investigations. We are staying on these developing stories and we'll bring you more details as it unfolds.
Now, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs has been in the news. The EFCC actually did arrest a suspect, Mr. James Okwete, a contractor, over money laundering allegations. That was the first disclosure. Now, Okwete, or Mr. Okwete, is alleged to be an ally of the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Sadiya Umar Farouk. Now, the EFCC says between 2018 and 2023, Mr. Okwete received the sum of 37.1 billion naira from the ministry, perhaps for contracts or so. Now, the funds were domiciled in 5 legacy banks across 38, you need to get this fact, bank accounts, according to information we got. Now, how were these funds appropriated that alerted the EFCC in their investigation? They say 6.7 billion was sent to BDC operators. 540 million naira was withdrawn cash. 288 million naira was used for purchasing all kinds of cars, and 2.2 billion naira for purchase of property either in Abuja or Enugu State. Now, the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Mrs. Umar Farouk, has denied complicity in all of this. She says this gentleman called James Okwete is completely unknown to her. Well, she was invited by the EFCC. She didn't show up and later wrote to them saying that she was indisposed, seeking an extension. As we're trying to deal with all of that, the national coordinator and CEO of the National Social Investment Program was suspended by the president. I was invited by the EFCC over issues of movements of some amount of money totaling about 44 billion or so. Now, whilst that was going on, we saw the leaked memo that shows the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, allegedly Dr. Betta Edu, approving the payment of 585 million naira into a private account of Mrs. Bridget Mojisola Oniyelu. Now, the funds, according to the minister, was meant for disbursement to vulnerable people in Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Lagos, and Ogun State under the federal government poverty intervention program, which is more like trying to reach out to vulnerable groups. Now, the minister reacted to say she insists that she followed due process. Now, after a while, we got a release from the office of the Attorney General of the Federation, or Accountant General of the Federation, I should say, denying honoring that payment. According to the Accountant General's office, they say allocations are released to self-accounting MDAs in line with the budget, and such MDAs are responsible for the implementation of their project and payment for such project. A lot has been happening. There has been public uproar and reactions, and a lot of people are talking, including SERAP, the rights group, and they are saying the federal government has to react and react urgently, or respond and investigate urgently. Well, just a few minutes ago, we saw a release from the Ministry of Information. I may have to read that word for word if possible, that the Ministry of Information and National Orientation acknowledges the concerns raised by the public regarding the alleged payment of funds into a private account by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation. The ministry says we are aware of the narratives circulating widely and wish to assure Nigerians that government takes these issues most seriously. The federal government, under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu, is transparent and accountable to the people and committed to ensuring that public funds are allocated and utilized effectively and efficiently to address the needs of Nigerians. We got this release just a few moments ago. Now, they say in the light of this recent event, the president has directed that a thorough and comprehensive investigation be conducted to ascertain the accuracy and validity of the reported details. The government is determined, in their words, to unravel the truth as it relates to this matter and ensures that appropriate action will be taken to ensure that any breaches and infractions that are identified are decisively punished in line with the administration's commitment to public accountability and due process. So,
can assure Nigerians is the fact that this is a very transparent system that is traceable from the CBN account directly to the account of the beneficiaries. For Nigerians who do not have accounts and do not have the NIN, we are actually working to open accounts and money wallets for all of these persons so that they can have their money sent directly to them. We would equally be pasting out the list of beneficiaries at the different communities, which would carry the vulnerable pensioners, the vulnerable veterans, and the wives of fallen heroes, as well as other areas of concern where they were not fully covered.
He wrote, 1. President Bola Tinubu a few days ago announced the suspension of one Halima Shehu, the CEO of National Social Investment Program, an agency under the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation for financial misconduct. 2. EFCC operatives subsequently arrested Halima Shehu. During interrogation, it was discovered that she moved a whopping 40 billion naira belonging to NSIPA to personal and corporate bank accounts linked to her. 3. Halima Shehu also informed operatives that she moved the 40 billion naira to private accounts linked to her because Dr. Betta Edu, the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, was transferring monies from the NSIPA account to personal accounts. She reportedly alleged that over 3 billion naira has been moved so far by Betta, and her action was taken to block her from accessing the 40 billion. The minister is said to have approved funds for flight tickets and airport taxis for the ministry staff to Kogi, a state with no commercial airport. The approval was contained in another leaked internal memo dated November 6, 2023. The memo was titled "The Disbursement under the 2023 Grant for Vulnerable Groups Program in Kogi State 2023, signed by Betta Edu. In the memo, the sum of over 72 million naira was appropriated for the minister's advance team to travel by air for an event in Kogi. Each of the minister's advance team members, including aides, received the sum of 200,000 naira for flight tickets, 20,000 naira for airport taxi, and local running expenses. The sum of 300,000 naira was earmarked for the minister's air ticket. I mean, rufai. I know that you earlier said that there is no airport in Kogi. I mean, there are 2 airports but they are not commercial airports. You cannot land in Kogi State with a commercial flight. So we need more details as to what airline took them to that particular event. 72 million naira is a lot of money.
So that's why
at this
we
point
say a forensic audit should suffice. A very holistic forensic audit. I think the audit should go back to any, disbursement made since Betta got into the office. Any memo signed, all of them should be scanned through. And it should be double scrutinized as we speak. And also the auxiliary companies that disbursements were made to should also be vetted. Because I'm seeing many stories, although not verified, of some key companies that monies and disbursements were made to. Holistically going forward, I do not know why President Buhari set up this humanitarian ministry. In my own opinion, I believe it should be scrapped.
A lot of people are advocating for that. Yeah.
It's always a funnel pipe for corruption. And we could have run this independent of any ministry. Once you set a bureaucratic framework in place, then you open the doors to huge corruption. So going forward, I think an impact assessment should be done on the humanitarian ministry.
Absolutely.
And probably scrapped. Nigeria does not need things like this at this point in time.
Yes.
Anyway, it's not today we'll be doing humanitarian interventions, and we didn't need a ministry for it. So whoever put that idea in President Buhari's head definitely didn't do a good one. Absolutely. It should be scrapped. We thought it was going to help people, but apparently, look at the charade. So early in this government, it stinks. Yeah. The corruption in Tinubu's government, allegations of corruption stinks. In the space of how many days? We're talking about the NCIPA, those allegations. Also now we're having this allegation. It stinks, and it's a blight on this administration. And they should wash themselves off of this excreta of corruption allegation. They are thinking of the excreta of this.
First, it was Halima Shehu. Yeah. Now we are seeing Betta Edu. I mean, we had from the same ministry. They had what do you call it? The pioneer of that ministry also is under investigation. We're seeing these women, go through these horrible. Yeah, she is supposed to be facing EFCC today. Well, let me take Betta's tweet, which she talked about integrity and trying to defend herself. She said, integrity, accountability are our watchword. Under my watch, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, no one will embezzle government funds as before. The plans to tarnish the image of this administration, my person or the ministry will amount to nothing. Betta, we are holding you to that word. I really want to know if this is fake document, fake memo. That's exactly the only thing that would make it all right. Because at this point, these investigations are already
that's the only thing that would make sense of this. In fact, lawyer Femi Falana has said that just that memo in itself, it did not implicate her to be investigated or perhaps invited in by the EFCC or security operatives, because that memo is a demonstration of an attempt to commit felony. So even without committing felony, it's an attempt to commit based on extant laws on whether money or not should be paid into private accounts.
And people, you could hear from the video that the position should be scrapped off. A position that is meant to help people of the country has turned to a tunnel of corruption, a means of embezzling Nigeria for even the Zani, the petroleum minister of good Lord Jonathan Tenom, that also embezzled a huge sum of money that is down with cancer, which Nigerians are even saying she deserves whatever is happening to her last year. We will beg President Bola Ahmed TINUBU to allow her come into the country since she has been denied access to the country. But my people, what baffles me now is how President Bola Ahmed TINUBU cannot stand those who loot and try to get away with Nigerian funds when he himself is part of the corruption. I continue to say that it's until it's passed into Nigerian constitution that death should be the penalty for looting of funds. That's only when the rate with which Nigerian funds is being tampered with will reduce. With this, it shows that the humanitarian position is nothing but a means of siphoning Nigerian funds. So I stand with Rufai OSENI that the position should be scrapped off, my people. Feel free to share your opinion at the comment section, and do not forget to share this video to every social media platform. If you cannot share, like it, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. See you in our next video. Bye for now.